Okay, I think we're good. Ready to get ready to get going?
Born ready.
Born ready. JJ, hello.
Oh, what? Hello.
Michael, hello.
How's it going?
JJ,
What? Who?
you dropped the ball.
I did?
Yeah. You
Dang.
you hit me with the Martin Brundle news last week, but you didn't tell me that the entire crew of Italian announcers were suspended.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What did they do?
Well, considering it wasn't apparently as bad as what Martin Brundle did, since he's been not even slapped on the wrist, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of comeuppance coming for him.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're like, when people make slips of the tongue like that, it's that their inner thoughts are coming out, right? In some ways. But also, I think he is also old enough that maybe that was words that were used that were acceptable at some point in his lifetime, even if they are not acceptable now.
I think also contextually, like when I read it a couple times on paper, you're kind of like, all right, okay. I mean, I can see how you accidentally shorthand that, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I think, like I was trying to say last week, I think the bigger sin is that he thought it was an interesting thing to say that three people of different nationalities were following each other in race cars in Formula One, when that's probably happening at every single race at some time, always. Maybe
it's the baseball problem. It's the baseball problem, right? Michael knows the baseball problem.
Which one?
The baseball announcers.
The baseball announcers are a little dated at this point.
Well, and
like
also
diarrhea of the mouth problem, right?
They've said
stuff.
They've said everything because they've been on air forever. It's what made those what team was it? The Bengals announcers, Michael?
Yes.
It made the Bengals announcers interesting. And not that I'm saying like you have to give up the jobs and I'm an ageist and all those sorts of things. But when they've been on the air and they've seen so many races or baseball games or whatever, they're not all Vin Scully.
Yeah, I think also there are, ageism is a thing, of course, but also like there are other announcers even who don't just like wander off in the middle of the race.
So
and look, it was not the most exciting race. I get it, but like you could have had a younger commentator there, and they might have found something else to say, right? They would have found a race farther down in the field where there was passing or something. They would have been like, oh, look, Kevin Magnussen and this guy are dueling for like second to last. At least they're driving and no one else is doing anything, right? Like,
I wonder if this is a situation where, in the rare instance, maybe the NFL gets it right in that, you noticed recently that the trend has been a lot of commentators are recently retired players. They don't always they're not always interesting, but they usually have something fresh to say.
Yeah, but I think what will happen is the same thing that has always happened, right? Madden was on the air when he was young and fresh, and then made it all the way to us watching football and being like, who's this ancient Madden guy?
And becomes an institution, and the people who like him won't give him up. And
what? Look forward to the next 40 years of Tom Brady commentating your Fox Sports.
It's why like IPs never die, and why they won't just stop making movies of a thing, or they won't stop making, Final Fantasy 57 or whatever. It will keep going until morale improves.
Did you catch that they're making a whole new round of Harry? They're just starting Harry Potter over again.
Yeah, they're rebooting it from the beginning.
Nope, they're rebooting Harry Potter, the cinematic situation, with a show this time around.
How are they going to do that with no writers?
Well, I assume this is in the
It's
early
not coming
stages.
next season.
Yeah. But it's probably coming. Is it HBO that picked it up? I think it was HBO.
It is.
Yeah. So they'll pony up and wait, right?
Okay. I just like it's a lot. Again, the Game of Thrones mold shows that you can't do those shows for too long, or they eventually end up very bad. So
Yeah.
hopefully they don't plan to do 8 years of Harry Potter again.
I gotta tell you, some of the most memorable shows are 3 seasons. That Ted Lasso just ended, 3 seasons. Battlestar Galactica, 3 seasons. The things that you can they're more potent when you know how much time you have, kind of, right? I think.
Yeah. When you can tell the story, especially when you can tell the story that you want to tell, right? You're not beholden to, in a lot of cases, with
Andy,
things
how many
like
seasons of
HBO and
Battlestar
Netflix.
Galactica were there?
3,
No.
4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 3.
Well,
I only
hold on.
remember
One of
this
them's a
because-
half. One of them's a halfie, though.
Maybe.
One of them's a halfie. So I don't remember.
It's definitely listed as 4 seasons on the internet.
It's
so
probably 4. It's probably 4. But one of them was what messed up because of the strike.
There are 76 total episodes, is what I can say.
But that's fine. Under 100 episodes is what you want, right?
Right. Oh, I fully agree. Sorry, it just triggered me because I definitely remembered watching the 3rd season of Battlestar Galactica and then being like, am I going to watch the next one? And then, some people would say the ending of that show did a disservice because it had gone on too long.
I think the ending of that show is the same problem as Lost, where it was like, there's only one way to end this, and it's not going to satisfy you that you know it ahead of time.
Yeah, oh, fair. Totally fair.
Yeah.
Lost has the exact same problem, where if Lost had been half the length that it was, right?
Yeah.
It would have been so much better. But they had to fill all the intervening seasons because it was still popular.
Well, it's on ABC, so they're trying to make a soap opera and keep it on air.
That's what I mean. It was still popular. Yeah. It's like, let's milk it.
Well, should they keep Final Fantasy 16 on air since we're talking about things that have gone on forever?
I mean, again, the Final Fantasy will continue until morale improves. They're already making it. It's happening whether we want it to or not. So
okay, so the only news I saw on this begins the not E3 season, which we briefly debated earlier, but 16 kind of leads the news here for us since we're talking about that kind of overarching too long situation. The news I saw on this was Platinum Games and Kingdom Hearts team also working on this game.
See what now?
Platinum Games
I didn't know Platinum Games was working on it.
And Kingdom Hearts team have both been working on this game.
The only so there was a demo is out for the PlayStation 5 for this game. Also, I think the game is not coming to anything else currently yet.
Okay, I have one of those though.
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just saying that it's eventually these games, the last one, 15, came to everything eventually. It just took them quite a while. So they seem to be pursuing a similar track here. And there is a demo out on PS5 now, and it is getting positive reviews from the people I've seen that have played it. They're like, hey, didn't have high expectations coming to this. Kind of like it. I'm interested in this now. Someone was like, I played that demo and then I ordered the game because this was awesome. So,
pre-ordered a game, huh?
Yeah, they liked it.
Wow.
It sounded like it was cool. The trailer is cool, I guess.
I'm still waiting on.
Does it look really generic? I don't know, man. Like
part 2.
They showed a trailer for that too. Did you want to see?
They did, yeah.
Do you want to see that one? That's out there also.
It seems like generic fantasy, or it seems like it's gonna be something wacky and cool.
I get I have a hard time with the mainline numbered Final Fantasy games of getting invested in their new whatever setting because I know that they will never do anything with it ever again, and that my investment will be wasted by the end, right? Because it's like the game is over and then there's no more of this anymore.
So you love Final Fantasy X?
I mean, at least they made more games in that series.
Well, but you want to talk about the things not changing, where the other Final Fantasy news that people are clamoring about is the leaks about Final Fantasy IX getting a remake.
No, that was
Yeah.
was that real? Because I saw that it was
So there are
being made.
Yes.
Rumors, yeah.
Yeah,
So there are two different things. There is a fan project, which was a labor of love that is
That's-
never planned to be released.
that's the one I
But
saw. They said,
Yes.
"Oh, it's not playable. It's not playable" for years, and then over the weekend they're like, "Here's a demo."
Yep.
This is the
But
one where they like not just AI upscaled, but like people went back and like remade all those backgrounds to actually be in the level that you can like discern them on a modern monitor.
They had to recode that because there's over-the-shoulder camera movements to stuff that Vivi is looking at in the demo.
Yeah. But yeah, so the second one was that an actual remake is in the works.
I never finished Final Fantasy IX. Not even close. Something about the atmosphere of it after Final Fantasy VIII made me just be like, it's for children, even though I'm sure it wasn't.
The thing about 9 is the thing that bothered me about that game is because of the way the systems work, where you learn all your spells and stuff from weapons and items and stuff. You have to like, if you want to have like a decent character, you need to grind. Like, you need to be doing battles all the time to like, oh, you want like fire, what is it, Faraga or whatever? Like, man, hope you keep that fire rod equipped for a long time past when you buy it, because it takes forever to learn all these skills.
Oh, maybe that's part of what dragged me out of it.
And usually it would be okay for the area you get it, right? It's like, oh, you buy the fire rod and then you're powerful enough with the other magic you've learned and fire that you can use while you have that equipped, you're okay. Then you go to the ice area now and you have an ice rod. Well, now you can't cast fire anymore. Sure would be nice to have had a fire, but you didn't do enough random battles to learn the fire spell, so you got to like go do that for a while. Just it was very like throwback-y intentionally. I think that was kind of the whole thing of the game, right?
For sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, it just that system turned me off as a person who at that time was much more into like making sure I did all of everything. It became too much.
Untenable is the word, I think.
Yes, great word.
It is. Yeah, it is. Okay, so 9 is rumored. 9 is coming, but 16, JJ, demo. Should I download it and try it and report back?
I mean, it costs you literally nothing except your time.
Okay,
go for it. If you have interest, check it out.
All right.
If you have hard drive space, I don't know. The hard drive situation on a PS5 is always.
I put one of those.
I understand.
Well, I put one of those drives in it. They have that extra SSD slot, and I put a drive in there.
You expanded.
I knew when I got the PS5 that I was going to want to play Apex on it, and that I was going to want to play Modern Warfare on it. And between those two things, that was already going to be like half a terabyte. So,
sounds about right.
I should have some space on there, no problem.
For both of the discs.
Final Fantasy VII. That we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the Final Fantasy VII. They said is coming on 2 discs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe, I don't know. Maybe at a certain point, it's like just wait for the 3.5 terabyte full game to come out.
I mean, they have done enough at this point that this is not that game anymore.
No, it's not. It's a whole. It's reset, right?
And do we all play it? No, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah. This is a different thing now.
Okay.
Stuff happens. It's not the same anymore. And it's clear that they're continuing in that direction from what I saw in that trailer.
Fine by me. We discussed like 2 weeks ago if anything was going to come out during not E3 season, which we are currently in. And man, Microsoft decided to just be like, yeah, hey, here's a lot of games, including like Starfield and everything else. So I don't know if we were right or wrong, because a lot of it was stuff we'd already heard about, but they did address things. I don't know. How do you gauge the current news out of like the Microsofts and Sonys currently?
I think, yeah, I haven't seen the Ubisoft thing, so I don't know what they're doing. But if you're just talking about like first party stuff, I think by default you have to give it to Microsoft in terms of like, who did better. With Microsoft stuff, there was more, and
Yeah, there was a lot.
more of it was theirs as opposed to like third parties or partners or stuff like that, right?
Right. Right. Well, someone does have some notes on that Ubisoft thing for us, I think.
Yeah, so I caught most of the presentation. You guys want to talk about games continuing until morale improves? Are you ready for 3 more Assassin's Creed games?
How?
one of
How?
them one of them is VR, and it borrows the characters from 3 existing games.
Okay,
One of them is a
VR is not a game.
one of them is a mobile game, and the last one is an actual like full system game. But
Got it. Okay.
they're still cranking out those Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah, another series that I left long ago and don't regret, I think.
Yeah, I have some friends who have played through all of the games as they've released them, and it has apparently jumped the shark of late.
Hmm.
So
Well,
the big game one looks like an Assassin's Creed.
yeah, sure. You know, whatever. I'm into that.
Yep. But there was a bunch of stuff. The they kicked off the show with what I described as, what if Horizon Zero Dawn but Avatar skinned and backed by James Cameron.
Oh, okay.
So there's an Avatar game coming out. James Cameron was involved to help make sure that the story is integrated with the 2 movies somehow.
I'm
A
sure that
deeply
didn't.
important story. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure that didn't drive anybody nuts.
No, not in the slightest.
Famously easy person to work with. Definitely no conflicts.
But
Oh,
just
man.
like the movies, it looked pretty.
Is this going to be Enter the Matrix 2, the Avatar version?
Probably.
No. This one you play as a Navi.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they set it up as the Navi who were being trained by the human soldiers there to save their lives had to be put into cryosleep for like 15 years, and they come out of it to find that their planet is theirs again, but that the humans are trying to come back and drive them out again.
Okay.
So that sets up the story.
Second verse, same as the first.
Wash, lather, rinse, repeat.
Uh
They can't do Last of the Mohicans again, right? Like,
huh. Yeah, you can. It won't ever be as good as Last of the Mohicans, but you can keep
Yes.
doing it over and over again.
But yeah, what else? What else? For me, kind of exciting. They showed off some gameplay for a new Prince of Persia game. This
Okay.
one's
I saw
they're going back to a 2D.
I saw a trailer for this. But I don't think I saw any gameplay. Does the gameplay look good?
Yeah, I thought it looked good. They've added in some interesting new twists, it looks like, on the time mechanics. So you can rewind just your own timeline now. So, you start on the left side of the screen, you're running away from an enemy's attack. They keep running and you rewind your time so you're behind them now.
Hmm.
Things like that. And then you can I think I saw that you can split yourself. So you do an action and then you back yourself up, and a shadow you performs that same action while your controlled character is running around on the screen as well.
Oh, time mechanics. Love it.
Yeah. So it looked pretty good. The art style was definitely something different. So I'll pay attention to that one and see how it develops.
Some of those
But
old Prince of Persia games are pretty fun, so that's cool. I hope that game is good.
yeah, that was a franchise I really enjoyed, and they've been gone for a while. So um, I think a reboot might feel kind of fresh and fun.
Solid.
Yeah. Let's see what else. That Skull and Bones game that they delayed and delayed and delayed is finally supposedly coming out. So they showed more of that.
Okay. Pirates.
Um, yeah, Pirates.
The sorry, derailing very quickly. The
Go for it.
Microsoft conference showed what's the name of that pirate game they have that Microsoft has?
Sea of Thieves.
There you go. They're doing a Monkey Island themed thing for that, where you can like go meet Guybrush Threepwood and go to Monkey Island and Sea of Thieve there.
Sea of Thieves is so weird to me because it's not a dead game, but it's just not, like, I don't think it's super populated, but it gets so much attention.
And
And
it
the
must be
people that play
populated
it
enough for
are,
them to keep doing it. Yeah.
yeah, people that
Yeah.
play it are hardcore into it and love it. And like the Monkey Island and all these other things they're willing to keep investing in. It's just like, I wish I could know, I don't know if there's a concurrent gamers, like concurrent players number, but
If only there was a nice publicly accessible thing like Steam has where it just shows you who's playing what game and how many people at one time.
well, Sea of Thieves may not tell you because it's also through the Xbox app.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think in the Steam charts in the last 30 days, it's like 9,000 active players or something.
Okay.
I don't know. But that's, again, you're not going to get most of them through there. You're going to get a lot of them through the Xbox and other stuff. So,
Right.
Michael, you're going to leave the Star Wars one for last? And
I was gonna leave the Star Wars one for last because
you
it's the
leave
one
me
that's
here
gonna
screaming.
gonna be of most interest to you. Star Wars Outlaws. So did you watch the trailer for it or the preview that they did with the gameplay demo?
I was immediately sent the trailer by the Carbon Scoring chat.
Of course.
Not shocking.
It was valuable to look through. All of us had the same initial reaction, which is,
Was it Hannah Solo? Was that your reaction?
no. The reaction was, sure looks a lot like Shadows of the Empire.
That is a fair assessment.
I think Hannah Solo is my exact reaction because I think the gun belt she wears is even the same one that Han has.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I think I'd have to check again. She has like a little a vest on in some of the scenes, so it covers it kind of, and you can't be sure if it has that like weird triangle shaped holster buckle thing, but it might be the same. And I definitely you get the get off my ship. You get the whole like outrunning the Imperials, trying to do something. Don't really know what the gameplay is like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it cautious optimism. I want it to be good. A
It
game
looked
where you
good.
don't have a lightsaber and don't deal with Jedi would be something they should have done a long time ago.
I like that it looks like it's both land and space combat.
Yeah. I mean, again, Shadows of the Empire, right? Hopefully it's got the like semi mix of things.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope that it has, enough in it to let you do stuff. It looks like there's story there, which is good because I hope it's not just like you can go anywhere in Star Wars and fly around, and it's just like, oh no, I don't want this.
No, a more open world. Come on.
I did really like that her companion is not a droid.
Yeah,
The
little
space axolotl.
axolotl. Yeah.
I'm with you. Cute droid companions are done now. We're good. BB-8 and BD-1 have it covered. We don't.
BD-1's got it from here. Nobody else.
Corner the market.
Yeah, like what are you're just going to be compared constantly to that guy, and probably going to do better than you. So like, don't.
I don't have any spoilers for this, but like I just started watching The Mandalorian season 3 finally, and I love that BD-1 is so popular. that in every scene they can fit a droid and he's just sort of standing in the background as a practical prop, turning his head left and right. Not moving, not walking, not doing anything. They just keep moving a practical prop of him around that moves his head left and right and left and right and left and right. It's just like, okay. I like him too, but like he doesn't need to be in every shot. Very funny.
They know what people want, Andrew.
They know what the people want. Does Blizzard know, JJ, what the people want anymore?
No, because they canceled the PvE part of Overwatch. Like, what are we even talking about? Of course they don't. What? That's the only thing we wanted on this podcast.
This entire 3-man podcast only wanted that.
No, it is very funny though that they showed Overwatch 2 at the Microsoft press conference, and I was like, who wants this?
Nobody.
They canceled this game.
No
why are we showing this?
Because Microsoft was trying to put Activision stuff in there, and Modern Warfare is a absolute I'm trying to find a real positive word to use for pile of, you know what I mean. Their subscriber numbers have gone from in the almost millions to like 50,000 for concurrent players.
Ooh.
It's a disaster.
You're saying it's bad.
It's a disaster.
I mean, they're going to release a new Call of Duty every year, though, right? And the people will just move, is what they'll do, right?
Well, I mean, given what's happening with Overwatch and with all this other stuff, if the U.S. government does end up blocking that merger, they might have dodged a bullet.
Yeah, possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're just coming out with Modern Warfare Map 3, Warzone 2, Electric Boogaloo, and now it's time for guns.
I sincerely wonder if there's been
for that.
I wonder if there's been too much brain drain over there, and they just don't have anyone that can lead a new project.
Yeah, I
with
don't
creativity.
Envy. I think I don't envy the person whose job it is to be like, okay, please make us the gun shooting game, but you can't change any of these things, and it needs to be in this kind of a setting because this is the most popular according to all our focus groups, and this is the thing that all the people want, and all these other things have to be this way. It's like, so what can I do? And there's like, make this game.
It's literally hands, feet, and everything else tied, right? You can't make it in World War II because World War II's passe and nobody wants it.
We just did that one.
It's the most popular setting, but you're not allowed to use it because they all say they're tired of it. You can't change any of the mechanics, but you need to change all of the mechanics because they only complain about the mechanics. But the minute you change the mechanics, everyone complains about the mechanics. We did this podcast where we talked about just the complaint economics of everyone in the streaming community just bagging on that game, and it just became fodder for YouTube to bag on that game, and literally everyone just has it's not a good game. Everything should be complained about. It's not the way you level guns in that game is the most time consuming we just want your eyes on our game grab of all time. It's so bad. It would take you months as a new player to be able to even competitively play the game with the competitive guns. It's not a good game, but like they are in a hole they cannot dig out of, and that's the Activision side of things. So the Blizzard side of things, Diablo IV just released.
Yeah, it did. I have known avowed fan of the Diablo franchise here. I think I'm the only one of us who played Resurrected, right? Did anyone else play Diablo 2 Resurrected?
I have Resurrected in my account, and I have yet to click on it. I was so despondent recently with with all the news around their games.
I mean, Diablo 2 turns out to still be a good game. So if you want to play that, it's still there. You can do that. It's fun.
Yep.
That Resurrected one, pretty good. And it works on controller, surprisingly.
Surprisingly well, or surprisingly, it's functional.
Well.
Okay.
I played a good amount of that game on controller with minimal problems. I have also played Diablo 4 now. my wife wanted to do something kind of co-op-ish, and Diablo's kind of that. So we went to give that a try. And yeah, that was pretty fun. I did the what was it, the beta server test or whatever recently.
Mm-hmm.
I have now just about gotten to a similar place as where I was at the end of that. Um, yeah, man, seems like a pretty fun time. It's I am not here to like max out my character. I'm not here to find the like most legendary drops or whatever. I'm kind of just in it for like the dumb story and like the silly quests and clicking on a bunch of things and watching them explode.
It sounds very
Um,
D3. Just click a bunch of stuff and it dies.
well, I mean, all of Diablo is that way if you're specking your character right, right? I mean, that's not
Sure.
it's not
Yeah.
unique to D3 either. I will say it is less like Diablo 3 than probably if you have a strong memory of that game, then maybe you would remember. The leveling up system has more choice in it. You're not going to have enough skill points to pick every point in the tree.
Oh.
So you're going to
Oh,
have to pick stuff. Um, and you'll want to because the stuff that synergizes with the other stuff, or the abilities that you're going to get based on your gear or whatever are going to change, right? Will have levels of skills on it again, which is something that didn't happen in D3. So like you get gloves that give you +1 to fireball. Well, now your fireball is level 6 when it actually maxes out at 5. Like that makes that pretty good, right?
Yeah.
okay.
Or you get a glove that's +2 to ice armor, and all of a sudden you don't take damage anymore because your ice armor is like 3 levels above where it should be, or whatever. So that's cool. I've playing the sorcerer guy. Um, yeah, it's been fun. I'm not going to be in a rush to finish it or anything. It also looks like the game is very long, at least in terms of like uh, we were talking about completionism. Don't try to do that in this game. There's so many quests.
Oh, so just hit the main story quest and be done, huh?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to know again. But the thing that is interesting, this is a choice they made. I don't know why, but everything scales to your level, kind of like Oblivion in a way, but like better implemented.
So it's always a challenge, no matter how much you level up.
Yeah, all the levels of all the monsters are always kind of around your level.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. It has
Hmm.
both good and bad sides. The good side is that you can join anyone's game regardless of what level they are, and it's going to scale everything such that you both are contributing and it makes a difference, right?
Right.
Huh. Okay.
So they've done fancy math or something in the background. I don't know how they're doing it, but something like that, right? Where they're taking, percentages or something being calculated and scaling things that way, such that the lower level person can make a meaningful contribution to what would normally be a high level area, or vice versa, right? And that's an interesting choice. But as a result of that, if you're like a very high level character in a what would be a lower level area, you cannot just like face roll every mob you see. That does not happen. It's like the goat guy that you killed your first day walking out of the snow is when you come back later and you're like, I'm going to murder this guy. He will also still be just as strong as he was back then, even though you have 15 more skills or whatever.
That's a little strange to me. Because then I mean, there was that whole go back to zones and just walk through there with AoE skills and grind for other characters thing before when you had this shared stash, you know?
Yeah. So there is still a shared stash between characters. That is still a thing. I will say the like loot tuning seems to be that you don't never get items that you can't use, but it's pretty infrequent compared with how it felt like in some versions of Diablo. So like I'm most frequently getting items that I can equip for my character, but then sometimes you get like, I'm a mage and I get like an axe and it's like, well, I can't even equip this, right? But it's unusual.
Hmm.
Um there's a lot of stuff now apparently that is more things that are like account and like character bound. according to like the people that are in the higher level areas and stuff. So there's very limited amounts of things that you can trade, and the like best stuff is just completely not tradable at all.
Oh, so it's more like a solo game.
At least to that degree, right? Like you certainly can get help, with people killing stuff and things, right? And it does do the smart thing like Diablo 3 did, where the drops that drop are yours, not like shared.
Yeah.
So you don't, if you see it, you can pick it up. You don't have to like go over there and click faster than everyone else or anything. um, but yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? Because there's no auction house. They learned their lesson with that one. And there's no, the trading seems to be very limited. So the best kind of stuff you're going to have to go out and grind, or with a group or solo, however you want to do it.
Okay. Well, how's that? How's that? Do you think you've also played Baldur's Gate, the demo at or the early access or whatever else? I mean, do you see yourself on D?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you see yourself on Baldur's or D4 more?
Well, the nice thing is that I don't have to make that choice yet.
Yeah.
I have intentionally avoided playing the early access version of Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, okay. You're doing what I did.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait till it's out.
That was my strategy as well.
I have taken this tact for other Larian Studios games. One that I backed in the Kickstarter way long time ago, and then future ones where I didn't do that. I just bought it in the early access period because I knew I was going to play it eventually, and lo and behold, I did play it eventually. It was just like 2 years or 3 years later. And that may be a tack I take with Baldur's Gate. We'll see. They are usually pretty good about having a complete thing available on release.
Mm-hmm.
I just worry also, the thing that's the best tuned and the best part of it, or well, at least the most tested part of it, right, is the part that was in early access. But then the rest of the game sometimes is needs some work, right? So maybe wait for them to get through the other acts or whatever other stages of the game they have and tighten that stuff up before I come in and get through it. Although, given the pace I play those games, it may not, they may get to that by the time I get there.
Nice. Since we're on this style of game, how's Pathfinder going?
Yeah, speaking of games that take forever.
Yeah, I mean, we're just D4, Baldur's, Pathfinder. How many more of these can keep coming out? It seems like a decent time for these.
Yeah, I mean, Pathfinder Wrath of Righteous came out several years ago. This is the enhanced edition that I've been playing through. They've effectively, I wouldn't say they've stopped putting out patches, because since I've been playing, 2 more patches have come out, but it's like, bug fixing. They're not like making big changes anymore. Although maybe they still have more DLC coming out. I'm not clear about that. Anyway, I have finally gotten through a bunch of that game. I'm in Act 5 now. Yeah, man, these stories get cool once they finally get going. It does take a while sometimes. But my in D&D terms, these system is based loosely on D&D, right? Pathfinder and D&D are very similar, but then not in some ways, right?
Right.
Yeah.
D&D caps out at level 20, right?
Correct.
The rules for this also cap out at level 20. My characters are level 19, a lot of them. They're very strong.
Okay.
Some of them can annihilate enemies in the initial charge attack.
Oh.
Right? They're all riding horses with one of them has a lance that deals an extra 8d6 on a charge attack, and has the helmet that gives them a headbutt attack when they charge, and it just gets very silly. Specifically, that one character has been min-maxed to the point where when you charge the initial opening attack, the enemy is going to take 50 d6 or something damage. It's very silly,
Does
then
it have
on top of all the other characters attacking, right?
Does it have the same problem that high-end D&D characters have, where you get to the point where one attack is so strong you just don't do anything else in the game at that point?
Certainly the like most powerful stuff has that, where it's like if I just wanted to trivialize the entire game, I'm sure that there is like some spell I could use or some weapon that would, well, maybe this charge lance is it, I don't know. That would just like, delete the enemies from, from the combat, right?
Right.
But I would say there's a lot of broken options. And so it's like I don't know that there's one option that's too powerful because all the options are too powerful. To be fair though, this game is also the kind of game where like you need to be min-maxing because the enemies are also like unfair, right? It's like this enemy has an AC of like 56. So, and that's on a D20. So, I'm sure you can make some calculations there and be like, you need to be strong in order to even hit this guy, right? Or you need to do, things that ignore AC, cast spells, do all kinds of other things, right? Like there's always options when you encounter those kinds of characters. And the system allows your characters to get like really broken by the time you get to the point that I'm at, and that's kind of by design, right?
Right.
So it's not, also it's entirely possible to like build your character bad, right? This system also allows you to do that. And so you could have very weak characters and be struggling. Um, Although I guess some of the like meta progression stuff in the game probably makes that impossible. Um, the game has like the traditional character level stuff, but then there are powers that you get as part of being the character in this story, and those powers are like just really ridiculously strong, just like way over and above the stuff that the game would normally allow, like the pen and paper version of the game, right?
Right.
So that they help you out there. But yeah, I'm really liking it. It's cool. You go to the abyss and visit all the demons in their city and like see some cool stuff there, and then you come back and be like, oh no, all the lands I took over, they got taken back. I guess I have to go on this march again and like kick all these demons back out of my hometown. Yep, guess we're doing that, and there you go. It's been fun. I'm liking that game.
Sounds like it's time to talk about demons.
Speaking
or should I say the dead?
Maybe.
The dead have invaded, champions of the continent.
We went to hell.
Heck.
Is there a bad word?
I don't know, but we can't have wrath in the game, but we can have heck.
Yeah,
Why didn't they call it limbo also? Because I feel like
that's a better word.
I feel like a lot of the people there probably don't deserve to be in heck.
Well, and the whole story is...
Andy, though, maybe some of them do. I don't know. Have you done all those side quests yet?
So I am not as far as you guys in the new story of the game. I got all the way to the boss of the underworld Geist, Geist,
Geist Canyon.
But I haven't fought in that area, that boss area yet. I just like cleared it all out and did all the mobs and cleared all the elites to try and like get some of the new weapons, which are ludicrously powerful compared to the other weapons, even if you didn't upgrade them.
Yeah, it turns out the bonus damage to the hell fiends or whatever that they come with innately helps a lot. And then you put the like soul currency or whatever in it that increases that damage even more, and very good.
So the game has been majorly updated. How do we all feel about the biggest change? I want to get your guys' opinions and information and do's and don'ts on the new soul weapon system and the gotcha-ness of the whole thing. Gotcha on top of gotcha now, right?
I kind of like that it's in some ways it is as much of a grind as you want it to be. Right, I beat the new story. I have a weapon for each member of my main party, and if I wanted to, I could stop right there and be happy. Right, I've cleared the new content. I don't feel the need to like min-max everything that I've gotten, especially knowing that there are several more weapons coming in, upgrades to these weapons and different weapons with different slots in them. And that some of them are just categorically better than others. So right now, I don't feel the need to try and min-max what I've got, knowing I'm just going to swap it out for something that's inherently better later.
The people that play too much in this game, and the min-maxers of this game, and the free-to-plays, and the people that spend money would have you believe, though, that if you're not grinding all the time to prepare for the future, that you're going to end up behind, right?
I think certainly they would have you believe that, right? But I think, as is proven, you can spend however much time you want on this game and you'll still be able to get through the story, right? Remember where we started when we started playing this game? We were like, I'm kind of just here for the story.
Yeah.
And the story is still all right, and I'm able to get through the story just fine. I'm still under 300 hours played, right?
Yep. I think that philosophy needs to have a big asterisk at the end of it with a note underneath it that says, if you want to beat new bonus content on release, right?
Yes.
Because the power creep comes for us all.
Sure. I mean, you could go back and beat all those BTs right now if you wanted to, but you had needed to, wait till the historic fragment shop was out to then get historic fragments to make the best Inferno weapons to go back and beat all those BT fights in like one turn.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's a very little content in this game goes away. And so there really is no rush. And so it's, the power creep will come for whatever thing we're struggling with eventually.
I understand that. One of the things I get feared of, and that happened to me with World of Warcraft, was like, I'm going to step away for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and try and come back. And you're like, what happened? They revamped all this stuff and I don't know how it works.
So I think specifically a game like this really doesn't want you doing that, right? They really want to keep you logging in every day, playing every day. But you can do meaningful stuff in like 30 minutes, right? Log in, hit the nameless town stuff, grind a little bit in one of these areas to pick up a bunch of souls, stick those souls in the weapons, hope you get a good roll on the thing. You don't, oh well. And then that's, you've done all your quests, basically hit the shop, sell all your materials, do one hunt. There you go. Now I've done every single quest for the day. I'm done. It's been easily under 30 minutes and you're out of there, right? And you've done meaningful stuff.
Yeah, without missing, things that are going to reset the next day either.
In some ways, the like really reduced grind or really reduced timers on stuff have taken the entire pressure of grinding those things like daily off, because those things reset constantly. Like trying to farm them, like all the elites and stuff now, is like almost senseless, because like why? There's no purpose in that. They're just going to be reset in like an hour. Like by the time you're done killing most of them, they'll be all back.
It's for the min-maxers, right? Because
Oh yeah.
I want to keep rolling silver souls until I hit 10% damage to fiends. So I need like 100 of them because I've got, 20 weapons to fill that slot in. So they need to be grinding them, and you can do it like really effectively by going in at like right now it's 8:58 p.m. So if I went and cleared all those elites right now, they'd be back in 2 minutes at 9 p.m. when they all respawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it's nice that that's there. And knowing that, we, the less hardcore players, can take advantage of that too, right? You want to only spend 30 minutes of time?
Yeah.
Log in at 8:56, right? Hit that stuff, get it out of the way. You get 2 clears of those elites before you're done. Call it a day. It's.
And I think before this, there wasn't really much for the min-maxers to sink their teeth into other than maybe optimizing team builds.
Sure. Well, the
Right.
randomness of it keeps them busy, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, the randomness of it for sure will keep them much busier than anything else we had up to this point.
Well, and especially because the power increase from some of those like high rolls on some of those souls is like a big difference, right? Once you start getting into the character specific souls
Well, yeah,
and
you're
like
gonna need
the
a
fact
sword
that
for every person, right?
every person has a sword and they're going to need a sword with their soul in it. It's like you want the Richard soul, you want the best roll of Richard's soul, and you also want the best skill all for that thing, right? Like that's a lot of RNG factors that got to roll up together. You better buy 50 of those Richard souls and you better use, like you're just going to be going through them like that. But thankfully, like, that stuff is good for the min maxers and the people who want to clear the arena fights in 2 turns and whatever, beat the level one, all the level 100 NPCs, before the next chapter comes out or whatever. But like, thankfully, you don't have to do that because the character is still good, or you don't need your people still get good when they just equip the weapon because the weapon is just strong, right? Even if you get crap rolls and have poison resist and stuff that doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gosh, oh, I had it. Oh, for like the souls in general, are you guys finding the, d- it's not worth the void does to like pull them off again, but wait, if you pull them off again, does it turn them into unrandomized souls, or are they
N-
still the soul that they were when they were on there?
No, it basically resets them back to the soul with all the options.
So the void dust is really only good for the rainbow souls, basically.
I think so.
You
And
should
maybe
just
there are
destroy
like
everything else.
Well,
it,
there are rare cases where depending on how much of it you have and if you want to use it for this, there are a couple of souls that you can't get from random drops. And so if you intend to re-roll one of those, then you might consider the void dust.
To do tell.
So there is a silver soul in one of the boxes that's available from the exchange. So there's level 1 of the RNG. It has to drop from the box that you purchase. But it has a higher max, maybe a higher range in general of dealing damage to the fiends than you can get from all of the other souls. So instead of 6 to 10, its damage cap goes up to 16%.
Oh,
But because they're so hard to get, you might consider, well, if I get one of these, maybe I want to re-roll the same one so I don't have to waste double RNG trying to get one to drop and then hoping it rolls what I want. Or, it took me so long to get one of these to drop in the first place. What if I want to move it to the next series of weapons?
gotcha. I think we've been talking too much specifics overall to say something important, which is, man, they really upgraded the game. They really made the JRPGist of games more JRPG.
the Michael and I had a good laugh, and now that you've experienced it too, Andy, that we were talking about places just doing the upside down again.
Yes, we did that. We did
Yeah,
that.
we did.
They because I think
They
Michael and I had
literally
experienced it,
flipped
and
the
we were
script.
waiting for you to get in there.
when
And now you
when they
saw it, and
yep,
it's just upside down again. Everyone does the upside
when
down
we were
again.
talking about Willow, it was like, oh look, the upside down. They flipped the camera, and then this thing literally puts both worlds upside down against each other.
Yep, they did
Yeah,
it.
they did the thing.
I really like the aesthetic of it. And it's very smart to look at a phone game and be like, okay, we want to make this JRPG. We want to keep a JRPG roughly. We want to keep it a gacha game. We want to keep people involved, but like we can't make this thing 15 gigabytes. So what do? Well, let's start reusing the maps in a different way, right?
Yeah, just reskin them.
Well, and aesthetically, like when they added the lantern and a whole bunch of cool aesthetic modification to it,
The
it's
little
pretty nice.
your little the little lantern you were carrying before always did like a little pulse whenever you would do a pulse action or
Mhm.
one of the path
Path
actions.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now in this like upside down world, it's such like a big bright light, and you're like, oh, hey, like you're like, oh, this is like a big difference. The cool effect that's like zooming in on your characters, you know?
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And in general, the upgrades to the game overall, to changing the timers, changing everything to be much more friendly to people. I think.
Yeah, that view status button.
View status will become much more handy for big fights where you have to keep up. A lot of those little level 100 fights become about keeping up dots and not dots. Dots is the wrong word,
Buffs.
but you know what I mean. Buffs and debuffs. And like knowing who has what sometimes is like pretty difficult when people are all over the place. So I'm pretty happy about it overall.
It sounds like the number and quantity and selection of buffs only increases as time goes on. So that stuff will just become more important.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, we now have the second best buffer in the game on our teams, right?
Yeah, we hadn't even talked about Richard yet.
Did you call him Richard?
I did.
Who's he playing football for?
Is he French?
Is this not Europe?
I just called him Richard.
He always seemed very folksy to me, so that's how I got the Richard. But I guess this is fantasy Europe, so
could be Richard, I guess. Although it's impossible to know because if you go to the Japanese, Arune.
every time I hear people pronounce the names of that character and the other character in Japanese, I want to throw my phone or TV or whatever like across the room. I'm like, this isn't English. I don't care how they pronounce it in Japanese. These are English words. Say them like something in English, please.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get Lars.
That's how you get Lars from Wrath. Yeah, exactly.
You get Lars. Ugh. Richard. We all pulled him. Congratulations.
Yeah.
What level is he for you guys yet? Have you been putting nuts into him?
What? What's that?
Mine is 78, I think, thereabouts.
He will hit 84 tonight. He's 83 currently.
Yeah, I think I just hit 81 the other day.
But I saved all my hunt tickets, as one does. So,
as one should do, yeah.
Yeah, and I put on the sword from the warrior tower.
Yes.
And the necklace that gives 20% also, or something like that. So
did you pair him with 9S as well?
Does 9S buff
9S
stack?
gives a 40%. Yeah, it stacks with other stuff.
It doesn't have the effect limit of the others. Like, because there's a 50% effect limit. So I would be curious to know. I actually have the game up. I can find.
I don't know if it'll go over 50. It might cap out.
I think 50 is the max. But interesting. I forgot about 9S's buff. It makes a difference. I have not used many experience nuts on him. So if you are not doing that with characters that you have going through the hunts and stuff, you might start to consider it now that we have enough items to really start to hit these caps where they actually make sense. 5% never made any sense,
Yeah, 40 is huge though.
40 is huge.
Especially if you do, especially if you easy hunt it and do 7 easy hunts in a row, that's going to be like 1 million plus XP, no problem.
End of battle, raise EXP by paired allies by 40%. So that makes 90%.
If it's additive?
If it's additive. Or it's 40% and 50%.
Like everything else in this game, the wording means nothing because no one knows. You have to go to the internet to figure out how it works because the words are a horrible jumble.
Well, we can put 9S back in the hunt team and see what happens.
Are there feats for leveling him to 100 again, like the other guy?
Richard?
Like Elvis. I don't think
No.
so.
No, it's just one of those, like, you're going to want him in your groups of high-level teams. So
Just to force feed them the experience.
Force feed them the experience as fast as you can, yeah. The problem is that if you have a 9S in all these groups, 9S is going to hit 100 pretty quickly, and then you're not going to want 9S in the groups anymore. But I'm one of the more min-maxers on that. Okay. We're not going to get to the old man take of the week this week, so we're going to have to put that off till next week, because I have a good one for you guys.
That is a very old man thing to do.
What, put it off till next week?
Put it off.
Yep.
Well, it took us all day, but we got an episode title. We also put off something else because we promised people we were going to do emails. We didn't do that either.
With apologies to anyone who sent us an email.
We're still going to do it. We will.
Okay, old man take of the week and emails next week. We'll just put it off to next week. In the meantime, you have another week to do emails. Where?
Well, folks can send those to podcast@weweregamers.com. That's our email address. Please send us emails. And find us on social media @weweregamers on all the things, including youtube.com/@weweregamers. I guess we used to say that it's all one word, but it should be implied that it's all one word, right? Because you can't put spaces in URLs.
Or dashes, really, I guess.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect dashes if you didn't say dashes. So,
Or underscores or something weird, yeah.
yeah. I think people got it.
Anyway, find us over there.
Okay, 9S. Where are you? I really never paid attention to that stuff very much, like the leaves and all that. But if you're going to be...
Go ahead.
Oh, farming like a lot of souls and mobs and stuff, like trying to hit the leaf maximum up would also probably be helpful.
Because, Andy, let me tell you about farming.
Ooh, it starts to get a little expensive.
Geist Canyon Screen 2.
Yeah.
Give Therion the good dagger that you got.
Uh-huh.
He does the whole screen by himself. No problems.
With Hellfire?
The AoE fire attack.
Yeah.
And then make sure he has one of his other abilities is the one that restores SP. And between those two, he can just do the whole thing by himself. You don't need any other people.
Oh, so I have the Nicola thing, but I try not to have level 100 characters, and my Therion hit 100 already.
But he's just the guy clearing everything. Everyone else is leveling up. He's just there to kill. It doesn't matter. You're just grinding.
Those new Kates are.
You're just grinding mobs and stuff. You're not, you're just there for the drops mostly. You can craft all the armor you want, craft all the weapons you want. You'll row through that stuff because the Hellfire is it Hellfire? Is that the name of the skill?
Hellfire is the name of that skill.
Wildfire? Yeah,
Hellfire.
that skill is great.
Heckfire.
Murders everything. Hell is not a bad word. That's dumb.
Heckfire.
I bring swearing back.
Also, I like the joke that they are all it's hell blank for each of the weapons except for the spear, which is the Hellbird.
I didn't notice that yet.
That one made me laugh.
See that? That's awesome.
That's funny. All right, JJ.
I'm out. Yep.
Yeah, get out of here.
That's funny as heck.
Oh, Andy, you have to.
He heard it as he was leaving.
Yeah, I did.
Just.
Oh, you sent the. Oh, I haven't watched these texts. Is this from the Stanford game?
This was from 20 minutes ago.
Oh, did they win?
I almost shouted into the microphone. Watch the two clips in order.
The best right fielder in college baseball. Uh-oh.
That plays a heck of a throw.
Just dogged him at home. Oh, it dogged him at third. Woo!
Yeah.
That's a fire throw, man. That's on a dime, right to the corner of the bag.
Yep, frozen rope.
Wow. Well, I'm happy enough. Uh-oh. Did he screw it up? What the hell happened?
They lost the ball on the lights.
Oh no. No, every team should get a mulligan for that kind of thing.
Yeah, and they're just all standing there because no one knows where the ball is.
You should have to, like, they got to do something about angling the lights or something, because that's the second Stanford that had that happen to them in the game they lost.
It did. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what you do.
I mean, you train your batters to hit it up into the lights is what you do.
I guess so.
I mean, right? I mean, if the place has bad lights, yeah, you do. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.